Restless fans. Didn't I tell you guys it's getting good? It is getting good. Summer and Kyle fight over Diane. Daniel tells Phyllis to go get some help. And Diane kisses Jeremy Stark before planting evidence in his suite. Welcome back to CBS Soap Dish Recap, where we recap everything CBS Soaps, both the Young and the Restless, and the Bold and the Beautiful. This is your Young and the Restless recap for January 17th, and without any further ado, let's talk about what went down in Genoa City today. So, we start out over at Society, where Phyllis finds Jeremy Stark dining alone. And she asks, what kind of game is he playing? Using Diane, or is he and Diane working Jack? Which is it? Now, he remembers how sorry she was the first time they met. She says, well, that's when she thought Diane left town. Jeremy admits that by the end of the day, he'll know where Diane's loyalty lies, and he insists that he is grateful for her bringing him to Genoa City. Now, he wants to buy Phyllis breakfast, but she just wants to know what he's hiding. And Jeremy asks what she wants. Now, she says she wants Diane out of Genoa City, and he calls her thoughtful. She claims she's an angel, and she wants Diane to pay. However, Jeremy respects that. She's a woman who knows what she wants and won't let anybody get in her way. And she's also not afraid of him. And Phyllis asks if she should be. So let's swing over to the Abbott house, where Jack is tired. He was up all night trying to figure out how to bring this Stark mess to an end. And especially with the stress between Summer, Kyle, and Diane, it's upsetting him. Now, Diane thinks, however, they're making progress. Now, she says she'll give Jeremy Nikki's necklace today. Now, Jack thinks, actually, I might have a way to accelerate this whole sting operation. And later, he's told her his plan, and she thinks that it could work. She then calls Jeremy to meet up. He's still with Phyllis and invites her to Society, but agrees to meet him at his hotel. Jack then says step one is done and it's time for him to take care of his part. And then Summer comes out with a banana. Now Kyle shows up and asks if that's for him. She didn't even know he was there. That pisses Kyle off. She noticed that Diane is still there in the same outfit as the last night. She was like, did you spend the night? Now, Jack explained his need to protect Diane, and Summer is annoyed and takes off before they detail their whole plan, and Kyle heads out separately. And then we hear Diane worrying about being to blame for Kyle and Summer's argument. Want some coffee? Let's head over to Crimson Lights, because Sharon is over there giving Chance some coffee. Now, they talk about his job and following his instincts. He having doubts about his career, though. Now, she encourages him to examine those doubts on a more deeper level. And he talks about being in the service and how he liked the structure and sense of purpose. And he details his whole resume. He likes being undercover. He likes being someone else sometimes as well. She thinks maybe this is a pattern. How much time has he spent being himself and finding out what he truly likes? And he too wonders if he actually chose his life or did his life chose him. Well, Chance, life is about the choices that you made, which produces your outcome. And then we see Sharon give him this huge croissant. And then he asks himself if he's doing the one thing that is going to make him happy. And Sharon suggests therapy, but he don't like that idea, but thought it may be worth to give it a shot. And then Jack appears, and she gets his coffee while Chance gets a call from Chicago PD. And we see Jack looks up suspiciously. So now let's swing back over to Society, where Jeremy refuses to tell Phyllis anything, and he takes off, and Daniel appears. Now she tells him who he was, and he hopes she wasn't fraternizing with him. She says, well, of course I am. And she explains that the woman was so frightened, meaning Diane, of him, and suddenly she's hanging with him at the glam club. And she just can't ignore him because he's a criminal, and he made it sound like something big is happening today. However, Daniel, after listening to all of this, says that it is enough. It has to stop, Mom. And she wants this too. And then she goes in about how she was with Jack before Diane got there. No, you were in the friend zone with each other. You weren't together, Phyllis. And then she talks about how she saw him kissing her recently. Now, she wants that woman gone. Really, really gone. Daniel knows she and Jack and Diane have history, but the ball is in Jack's court, especially after she's already told him what Diane was up to. He gets to choose who is in his life. And if that's Diane, she needs to let him. And it is what it is, which of course annoys Phyllis because she hates that saying. And he's starting to see that he had made a mistake in hiring her. And anyway, the project is supposed to be about positivity. And she says this.
Even started. Oh my. Are you saying that I have negative energy? I got one shot at doing this my way, the right way. I don't want to ruin that. Are you firing me even before it launched? Tell you the truth, the way things are going, a chance the winners, this project might not ever make it. What is that? What is that? I'm not going to elaborate. We're not going to get into it, but I think in the meantime, you should figure out a way to tame your anger. What? Oh, really? How do you propose I tame my anger? I don't know. There's a lot of good self-help books out there. Maybe you should read one. Maybe read two. Two would be better. And then maybe take a good, long, hard look at yourself and ask, where are these feelings coming from, man? Are they making me a better person? Because I don't know. That's all I got. I need to get some air. We can brainstorm later.
Yes, Phyllis, you're being negative and obsessive. Now, I know Jack is doing some stupid things when it comes to Diane, but you've already put it on his plate. You got to walk away and let it go and let the pieces fall where they may. Daniel even tells her to go and get some help, read some self-help books, and then he takes off. And then Tucker appears where he sits with her, and she said, you'll do. He jokes that it's the warmest invitation he's had in a while. Now, Phyllis asks what he thinks would happen if she blackmailed the entire town, left, sashayed back, and convinced everyone she had changed, only for them to learn it was untrue. She basically details everything she thinks Diane is up to, and she asks if she'd be welcome back. Phyllis, you were welcome back after many of the deeds that you've done, including running over Cricket almost. And we all know what happened with that situation. But you're still here. So it happened for you too. Anyway, he says that this is all familiar. Tucker then calls her affable, charming, and she shrugged that off. Her son just lectured her on getting self-help books and says that she should let Diane just run this town. Now, she's conned even the smartest man, even you, Tucker, she says, and says things have changed, and she called Tucker the enlightened one. She can't take it anymore, and he tells her to take the path of least resistance. I agree with that. Now, she scoffs that she's read more profound books, or things I should say, in a fortune cookie. And she asks where that guy went who asked her to burn it all down. And she found him more interesting than the Tucker that's sitting in front of her now. So now let's head over to Jabot where Summer and Kyle arrive, and Kyle wants to talk. Summer says she can't do this anymore, and she invites him to go off to Paris with Harrison and her. Kyle was like, no, you misunderstood me. And then Summer says, wait a minute. Your father broke into my grandma's apartment, and I just can't be a part of this anymore. Now, Kyle is unhappy that she refused to let them find out what his mom is up to, which means he won't know what kind of trouble she's in. However, Summer, she says she's not apologizing for that. Now we're over in Stark's hotel room at the Grand Phoenix where Diane arrives, and then she hands over Nikki's necklace. it's perfect. And he asks how he can be sure it's Nikki Newman's necklace. Diane tells him she was pictured in it in countless photos and shows him the tag with N and V. And he wants details on how she got the necklace. And then she licks her lip and says, hey, wait a minute, a girl has to have some secrets now. And she tells him the bare minimum from Jack's story. Now he wants to steal from the rest of the powerful General City citizens. And he wants to start by robbing Phyllis blind. And she scoffs at that. So he then says, what about the Abbotts? Now, of course, she was like, I can't steal from my son and my grandson. And he asks if she trusts him. And he turns around and said, well, wait a minute, the same thing can be said for you. And it's time he repays her for a job well done. She reluctantly does so and thinks he's going to strangle her or something. Instead, he places the necklace around her neck as a memory of him. And for the moment, she looks relieved. She says this is for him, but she can't wear that around town. Now, he still wants proof that she is with him, so she kisses him. And it's clear now he wants something else, which is sex, when he starts removing his clothes. So she fakes an allergy attack, and he goes into the shower to wash off the cologne, while then we see Diane plant something in his room in the drawer and under his mattress. And finally, back over at Jabot, Summer tells Kyle that this thing with his mom is going to blow up in his face. Now, Daniel appears. Kyle takes off. She complains that they fight about Diane a lot, and he lets her know that he and their mom got into it too and goes into why. And Summer says that she's not surprised that Phyllis isn't spinning out of control. Now, Daniel thinks they need a way to save their mom from herself. Now, Kyle returns and angrily asks, who was she talking about? Daniel leaves and she says, well, it was about Phyllis, but you know what? The same thing can apply to your mom, Diane. And Kyle snipes at her about that and then complains when Victor calls him to meet up to talk about ousting Adam from Jabot. Okay, so there you have it, your Young and the Restless recap for Tuesday, January 17th, 2023. Stay tuned for the bold and the beautiful recap also for today. And until the next video, like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.